All right, so we are doing the Chicago White Sox.
And I'm Olivia Kisday.
I'm Matt Giacomosi.
I'm Bennett Fishbein.
Nathan Kane.
I'm Evan Salter.
Use of radio.
So one of the use of radio outlets that the White Sox use is podcasts. The White Sox podcast is called White Sox Talk Podcast. The podcast gives its listeners unparalleled insight and access to the White Sox. It also features interviews with current and former players and coaches. The podcast claims that it will tell you why something happened yesterday and what's likely going to happen tomorrow in terms of the team.
Another use of the radio they use is talk radio. They have three main radio stations that they use. The main that they have a partnership with is WGN Radio. That's kind of who broadcasts the games and really kind of provides more in-depth news on the White Sox. You can find them on 7:20 a.m. In English or 12:00 a.m. in Spanish. And they also have other radios like the WLS on 8:90 a.m. and 6:70 a.m. The Score. They cover more of like highlights and more kind of the fun and entertainment part about the White Sox. Other than that, there isn't much talk radio regarding the White Sox, but they cover a lot of in-depth, so you can find a lot there.
So the White Sox flagship station is WGN AM 720, and it's currently entering its third year of a multi-year broadcast rights agreement that includes all 162 White Sox regular season games and postseason games, select spring training games, pre- and post-game programming, including features with highlights and interviews with players and coaches. Also, they're signed with WRTO AM 1200, which is Univision Radio, which is a Spanish-speaking station, and they only broadcast the 81 home games of the White Sox regular season television.
All right, so for game coverage, NBC Sports Chicago is the main network for airing games on TV in the city of Chicago. NBC Sports Chicago was scheduled to televise 161 of the Sox 162 regular season games before this pandemic delayed the beginning of the season. 5 games were currently scheduled to be aired on NBC Sports Chicago Plus. All right, so for partnerships with networks and cable shows, there's many different like streaming networks the White Sox have available for them. Say that NBC Sports Chicago is not available. These networks include Sling TV, Hulu Live TV, YouTube TV, PlayStation View, Fubo TV, and DirecTV. Through these services, they can access all sorts of different sports networks such as ESPN1, ESPN2, Fox Sports Network, MLB Network, TBS, etc., all allowing these fans to watch the White Sox play. For news reporting, Jason Benetti and Steve Stone are the two main broadcasters for the White Sox during their home games. Jason Benetti is entering his 5th season as a member of the White Sox television broadcast team. This is second as the club's full-time play-by-play voice. Steve Stone is set to begin his 13th season as a White Sox broadcaster and his 5th season with Jason Benetti as an analysis.
So the White Sox website is whitesox.com. On the front page, they have a slideshow of like top stories, highlights, whatever kind is going on for that day. Right now, their top stories are press release about COVID-19. Throughout the website, they got direct links to their Twitter, all their social media. They have a focus on the MLB, the show, which players are playing right now, since they can't play real baseball, and also are talking about Michael Jordan highlights since the documentary is airing on ESPN. You can find almost anything you need to know on the White Sox, such as tickets, news. You can find all the press releases here and highlights and much more.
So the White Sox press releases are published on MLB.com through the White Sox website, and they're posted year-round, dependent on team updates, team news, broadcast schedules, promotions that are going on, etc. Press releases are posted to answer the frequently asked questions and to inform fans of everything going on regarding the team. Currently, the most questions being asked are regarding the COVID-19 response and how the 2020 season will go.
So for advertising, the White Sox have to rely on this heavily. It's really hard for them to find good advertisements in Chicago because they have to deal with the other four major sports teams, and especially the Cubs, just because the Cubs are a much more successful and bigger team and have a much bigger fan base in Chicago. But they are able to kind of sell themselves to more of the south side of Chicago by kind of relating to them and having ads like the south side mentality, hyping that up, and like kind of talking about how like there's traditions and talking about the traditions, and then also they do a lot of like family nights, and they advertise that, and that brings in a lot of crowd and people. So yeah.
The White Sox social media consists of Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, Snapchat, YouTube, Pinterest, Reddit, and Blacklist, which is their email newsletter. The Facebook, Instagram, and Snapchat outlets feature short video clips and pictures, while Twitter features short and quick updates, and YouTube features longer video clips. Blacklist features longer, more detailed updates. Their Pinterest advertises fan apparel. And lastly, Reddit provides a platform for fans to communicate.
So lastly, the Chicago White Sox run their app through the MLB app. When you download the MLB app, you can pick your favorite team, and then we'll give you the White Sox like homepage. It's much like the website where it will show highlights, today's score, whatever's kind of happening at that time. You can also find the podcast and radio at the top, and then easily stream any White Sox games on the top left.
Right.